Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today's video is actually one that I've really debated on whether to publish this or not. I finally decided that I was going to. This actually happened right at the end of May. This was actually before my first cut of hay. Like I say, I just kind of was debating on whether to even publish this or not, but there's some frustration and stuff involved in here. I had a flat tire with my tractor, so stay tuned, check out what happened, and we'll let you know how it worked out. Hey everyone, welcome back to Williamson Ridge Outdoors. Today we've had a little bit of a mishap here with our tractor. Our tire has seen better days. So we're going to get in here and try to get this thing changed out, or at least get it off the tractor. And I've got to take it somewhere in the morning to either get it repaired or get it replaced, whichever way it ends up working out. The place that I spoke with about the tire said that they don't think it's repairable because there's a big cut in the sidewall. I've heard of people putting tubes in them before, patching the hole and then putting a tube in the tire. I don't know, maybe they're just wanting to sell me a new tire. Maybe some of y'all can comment down below and let me know what you think about that, what you would do, you know, if you have this happen. I'll show you some details about what happened here in just a minute, so follow along with us while we get this thing changed out. For the time being, we're going to jump in here and take the tire and wheel off and get it loaded up on the trailer so that we can take it somewhere tomorrow and at least get the problem solved sometime, hopefully in the morning, because tomorrow is Friday and Saturday I have to cut my hay. They're calling for good weather and I have to make sure I get this thing repaired and ready to go by then. So make sure you stick around, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Also hit that thumbs up if you like videos like this and follow along with us. As you can see in the picture, the fence post was actually sticking up out of the ground because we ended up having to use a short post, so we couldn't drive it all the way down to get the paddles down underneath the ground. So I got really close to this post with my tire, or right against the side of it, and the tire came down right on that paddle on that sharp point. And that thing is still sticking up several inches out of the ground, so it cut the sidewall of the tire, probably 6 or 8 inch gash in the sidewall. In this picture, the water that was in the tire was actually draining out of it. As you can see, the bead is still on the rim, and as the water drained out of the tire, it actually sucked the tire down so much that it sucked it off the bead. So this is after most of the water had drained down, and then the tire was sucked off the bead, and now it's just draining out the bottom around the bead. As you can see here on the right side of the tire, the gash that's actually in it and the water coming out of the side. So as you can see, we've got the tractor jacked up, but we're going to pull the tire off, secure the tractor to make sure it's nice and safe to let it sit here overnight. That way we can go somewhere and get our tire in the morning and have it ready to put back on. Touched them. Back on. So that wasn't too bad. Actually, the tire is not as heavy as I thought it would be. The tire repair shop actually said that the tire itself was only about 100 pounds. I thought that, you know, tractor tire being 5 feet tall or something would be a lot heavier than that, but it's not. And as you can see, actually only one person rolled it on here, and then I just kind of got up here to secure it and make sure that it didn't just take off where we're kind of going downhill a little bit. I did want to make sure too that once I got the new tire back here that I'd be able to pick it up and roll it up to the tractor myself because I may not have help in order to do that tomorrow morning. So we're going to get the tire hauled off to the tire shop and hopefully get everything hopefully get it repaired. That would be the least expensive way. But according to the shop, that they don't think that they can repair it. Like I said before, I've seen people put inner tubes in them and fix them up that way. But they acted like that may not be an option for this tire. So we'll have to find out when we get there. We'll get them to check it out. We'll let you know how it works out. Well, as you can see, we made it over to the tire place. We got our new tire. I did bring home the old tire. Tamer actually has something that she wants to do with it with the horses or something. So I also picked up some pallets while I was out to be able to stack her hay and stuff on. Anyways, let's get with it and we'll jump in here and hopefully get this tire mounted on there. I don't have any help today. The tire actually has 13 gallons of methanol in it. I didn't have them fill the tire completely simply because I wouldn't be able to lift the tire up to be able to get it back over to the tractor because I have nothing but me to be able to lift it. So my trailer's actually pointing downhill a little bit, and all the fluid should be on that bottom side or the back side from me of the tire. So I'm going to lift it from this side in hopes that the weight will only be there and I won't be picking any of that up. So if it's not bad enough that you have to spend all this money on replacing a tire, but then you get home because you think that these people, this is a professional tire company, and you think that they're competent enough to do things correctly, and guess what? You find out that they put your tire on the rim backwards. It had the old tire on it. All they had to do is put the new one on the same way the old one came off. So now it is past closing time for them and they're not going to be open again until Monday, which is way after the time that I need my hay cut. So the only thing I can think of is that I'm going to put this tire on here. I can't fill it with fluid. You know what? I'm going to have to, because I can't mow these hills and stuff around here and have this tire empty. You can't even imagine. Well, that's actually why I'm videoing this, because the frustration that goes into something like this, because you have to spend so much money on a tire, for one. Two, I took it to them this morning and they said, oh, we can't do it right now. You'll have to drop it off. So I've spent the entire day trying to get this tire. They told me the day before, whenever I was wanting to buy the tire, they said, oh yeah, just bring it in. We'll have the tire here 10:30 in the morning. You can come in, we'll change it out, you'll be on your way. But once I got there, it was a different story, and they said, well, we don't have anybody here that can do it right now, and we might not even get to it today at all. So when they called me at 2:30 today, then I thought, great, at least I'll get my tire back today. I can run out there and get it, and I'll get my tire back. That's awesome. So I go get it, and I didn't think to check it before I left of whether they put it on backwards or not. How in the world can they put that on backwards when the old tire is on there and all they have to do is put it back on the same way that the old tire came off? So I called the tire place. Their shop is closed, but they do have roadside service and all that kind of stuff. The manager's supposed to call me back, I guess discuss what our options are or whatever, but I think they should have to come out here and fix it, because one, their shop's closed and I can't take it back to the shop until Monday, and I have to have this tomorrow. You know, that was the whole ordeal of trying to get it done this morning, and then it turned into this afternoon. But then I thought, all right, I got the solution. I've got it fixed. I've got my tire back. Now it's just a matter of putting it on and then going ahead and filling it up with fluid. But now it's backwards, and I'm going to have to fill it up with fluid. If they can't come out here and fix it tonight, I have to use it tomorrow. And they're just going to have to pay for it, because when they take this off and remount the tire, it's going to lose all the fluid out of it. So they're gonna have to foot that, because it's not my fault that they screwed up and put this on backward. I assumed that when they loaded it on my trailer for me that everything was good to go, and I didn't need to double check it, or didn't, you know, it should have been good to go. But the funny thing is, they put an arrow on the rim to show the direction of the tire, or what direction it's supposed to go. The arrow on the tire is opposite that. Okay, so I've got the problem resolved, I think. I called them up. They actually have a 24-hour roadside service, and they are sending a tech out here to change this tire back over, or to turn it around. So they should, and they're actually doing it this evening, because I've got to use my tractor to mow hay and stuff with in the morning. They asked me if I could take it over there, and I was like, well, I've already made 2 trips over there. I'd really rather not have to make another one. So he said that's perfectly fine. They'd send a tech out, and they would take care of it here. So that's awesome. I mean, it's good that they're going to correct the problem, and I'm assuming it's not going to be at any cost to me, which shouldn't be. It's not my mistake. They actually, they had it marked on the rim and like the correct direction, but they still put the tire on backwards. So I don't know. Maybe they just looked at it wrong or something. Somebody got confused. I mean, people make mistakes. I'm not really aggravated at that. It's just the whole situation. It seems like one thing after another, not to mention it's a $750 tire, or by the time that the tire was $560, and then plus the ethanol, plus them putting it on and all that kind of stuff, ended up being $750 for a tire. So I kind of expected them to get it right, and since they didn't know, they are correcting their mistake, and so I'm very appreciative of that they're going to come out here this evening and get this taken care of. So after all the frustrations and stuff of getting the tire taken care of, the tech did come out that evening, and I actually did not video any of that simply because it was getting late when he got here. He ended up working on that tire until 1 o'clock in the morning. You know, it's just one of those things where all that was going on, I didn't want to bother him and be like, hey man, you mind if I video you? And then having all this trouble and stuff too. I don't know if the guy, he was a great person. Like, he was a really nice guy. He was trying his hardest. Like, the tire just wasn't cooperating with him, and it took forever to get that thing on there. And well, actually not so much to get it changed out, but he couldn't get the bead to seat, and he tried multiple ways to get it to seat. They had this big air cannon thing, and they were putting it down in a bead and just like cranking it wide open, and it would kind of be like a big air explosion. It just wouldn't go. It just would not get the bead to seat. So then finally, after all the work, and he's put straps around it and just done everything you could think of, they have a big 5-gallon bucket of really thick soap. And they took that soap and smeared it around the inside of the bead, and it took up enough space to make that close the gap up enough to when he put air in it, it finally made it pop onto the bead and close off all the air leaks, and it finally went on there. And then, after it got on there, he was letting some air back out of the tire in order to start filling it with the methanol and water mixture, and he was going to start filling that tire, and it come loose from the bead while he was doing that. So then he had to go through all this stuff again to get the tire back on there again. It was a complete mess. And like I say, it was 1 o'clock in the morning when he finally left. So I didn't have any footage of all that frustration and just stuff going on. And like I say, I didn't really want to bother him. And anyways, guys, that's going to wrap it up. I just thought I'd share this with you. There was a lot of frustration and stuff that happened during that time of trying to get the tire fixed, but we got it fixed, got it back on the tractor, got our hay mowed the next day. So it all worked out in the end, but you know, sometimes this kind of stuff can happen. It's just the way things are, especially around running equipment. You can always expect to run into some problems somewhere. I hit that fence post, wasn't even thinking about that spade part of that post was sticking out of the ground, because, you know, we use 6-foot posts. All of our fence line is done with a 6-foot post, and then at the very end, we didn't have enough 6-foot post, so we had to use a 4-foot post. By doing that, we couldn't drive it all the way down into the ground, so it left that spade sticking up, and we were thinking about doing it, you know, it was going to be temporary, but then we forgot about it, you know, kind of one of those out of sight, out of mind things. And so then I'm over there mowing, I'm getting up close to that post, and then slice the sidewall out of my tire. So just things that can happen. Guys, thanks for following along today. If you enjoy videos like this, make sure you click that thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel, and follow along with us with everything going on around the property. And thanks for watching.